Howie Roseman has done it again. The Philadelphia Eagles general manager, often praised but never complacent, just made another calculated move that shows why he's one of the sharpest minds in the National Football League. While most teams are still catching their breath after a busy offseason, Roseman is already playing chess, not checkers, thinking 2, sometimes 3 steps ahead of the rest. His latest move? Trading away edge rusher Bryce Huff to the San Francisco 49ers. At first glance, that might raise a few eyebrows. But when you break it down, it's the kind of forward-thinking decision that keeps the Eagles not just competitive, but elite. Let's start with the basic numbers. Huff was dealt for a conditional 5th-round pick that could become a 4th depending on playing time. That's a solid return, especially when you consider what this trade unlocked behind the scenes. The Eagles not only gained a draft pick, but they freed up around $2.4 million in cap space and close to $8 million in cash. That financial flexibility might not make headlines, but in today's NFL, where every dollar matters and roster balance is critical, that's a massive win. And what's even more important is the self-awareness that came with the move. Philadelphia handed Huff $34 million in guaranteed money. That's not chump change, and plenty of GMs would double down on that kind of investment, refusing to admit when something doesn't work. Not Howie. Roseman recognized that Huff wasn't the right fit. Instead of forcing him into a scheme where he couldn't thrive, the Eagles cut their losses and moved on. That takes guts. That takes vision. And more than anything, that takes a front office that puts winning above ego. Huff is a talented player, no question. Under Robert Saleh in New York, he blossomed into a top-tier pass rusher. In 2023, he had 10 sacks, 21 quarterback hits, and 67 pressures, all while playing less than half the available snaps. The guy has burst, technique, and the kind of speed off the edge that quarterbacks fear. But in Vic Fangio's system, it never clicked. From the moment training camp began, Huff wasn't running with the starters. He played deep into preseason. Games! An early warning sign. Then the regular season came, and his role remained limited. Eventually, he got hurt, and by the end of the year, he was a healthy scratch, even in the Super Bowl. That tells you everything you need to know. Sometimes, fit matters more than raw talent. Huff is a classic 4-3 defensive end. He wants that three-point stance, his hand in the dirt exploding off the line like a Bugatti. But Fangio's defense is different. It's a 3-4 scheme that relies on stand-up edge rushers who drop into coverage, change directions, and adapt on the fly. Huff wasn't comfortable in that setup. And when your defensive coordinator doesn't trust you, you're not going to see the field. That's exactly what happened. So Roseman did what smart GMs do. He acknowledged the mistake. He found a team that valued Huff's skill set, and he turned a bad fit into a future asset, all while preserving the Eagles' cap health and opening a roster spot for someone who actually fits what they're trying to do. That's not just a good move. That's textbook team management. But this isn't just about one trade. This is part of a larger strategy that Roseman is executing to perfection. By flipping Huff for a pick and clearing cap space, the Eagles now have even more flexibility heading into the 2026 NFL Draft. And when you look at the war chest of picks they've already assembled, it becomes clear Howie is building something with longevity in mind. As of now, Philadelphia holds its own 1st and 2nd round picks for 2026. Add in 2 third-rounders, one from the Jets and their own, and possibly a 3rd compensatory pick from Milton Williams signing with New England. That's 4 picks in the first 3 rounds. Then you factor in 2 4th-rounders, 1 from the Huff deal if the conditions are met, and another compensatory pick expected from Josh Sweat's departure. That's potentially 6 picks in the first 4 rounds. Add to that a 5th rounder from Atlanta, another from Houston, their own 5th, a potential compensatory pick from the Chargers, and their own 7th. All in all, the Eagles could have up to 13 picks in that draft. 13! That's ammunition. That's flexibility. That's what allows a franchise to stay ahead while others are playing catch-up. And it's not just about collecting picks for the sake of it. Roseman knows that building through the draft is the most sustainable way to maintain success in the modern NFL. Rookie contracts are cost-controlled. Drafted players are young, hungry, and less prone to injury. They haven't been worn down by years of physical punishment. And when you hit on those picks, you get to impact players at a fraction of the price you'd pay in free agency. That's how dynasties are built. We've seen it time and again. Teams that rely too heavily on free agency often find themselves boxed into bad contracts, aging rosters, and limited flexibility. The Eagles, on the other hand, are doing the opposite. They're preparing for every possible outcome. Injuries, decline, scheme shifts. They've got insurance in every direction. And it's all because of the groundwork being laid today. Look at the moves they've made recently. Even before Huff was dealt, Philadelphia was preparing for life without him. They went out and signed guys like Azeez Ojulari and Josh Uche, players who do fit Fangio's scheme. In the draft, they picked up one of the most productive college edge rushers of the past 2 years, Antoine Palland. And they've got young talent already in-house. Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt, guys the coaching staff believes can develop into stars. That's not a team reacting. That's a team planning. And let's not forget, Huff didn't leave on bad terms. If anything, he's getting a fresh opportunity with a team that knows exactly how to use him. Under Robert Saleh, he already proved he can thrive. The Niners needed a pass rusher, someone to rotate in and bring pressure off the edge. Huff is that guy. And if he performs well, it's a win-win. San Francisco gets a needed piece, and the Eagles could see their conditional 5th-round pick upgraded to a 4th. That's how you turn a misstep into a calculated rebound. Even Vic Fangio himself admitted Huff wasn't a fit. He mentioned that the broken hand affected his ability to be the kind of speed rusher he's known to be, playing with one arm in a new scheme, trying to learn new responsibilities. It was too much, too fast. Fangio also made it clear that he's excited about the development of the younger guys on the roster and that he sees this as an opportunity to shape the defense into something more cohesive and scheme specific. That clarity of vision is what drives great teams forward. Meanwhile, back in the front office, Roseman is preparing for the long game. Because let's face it, things change quickly in this league. Players get hurt, veterans decline, cap situations. Spiral! The teams that stay competitive year after year are the ones that are never caught off guard. And with 13 possible picks in 2026, Roseman has positioned the Eagles to pivot in any direction. Want to move up for a star prospect? They have the ammo. Need to swing a trade for a proven veteran at a key position? They can do that too. Or maybe they just stay put and let the board come to them, adding depth, talent, and upside at every level of the roster. And this is where Howie really earns his praise. He doesn't just chase stars, he values depth. He knows that the NFL season is a war of attrition. You need rotational players. You need special teamers. You need guys who can step in when the injuries hit, and they always hit. That's why having a surplus of picks isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Roseman also understands that the cap is only going to get tighter for teams that overspend. With television money flooding in and the league's popularity skyrocketing, the salary cap is set to climb, but so are the contracts. We're already seeing non-quarterbacks getting 30 or 40 million per year. That makes rookie deals all the more valuable. And if you can hit on those picks, you got top-tier production for a fraction of the cost. That's how you stay competitive while paying your stars. That's how you build a balanced roster. That's how you win in January and in February. So while other teams are scrambling to plug holes or figuring out what went wrong, the Eagles are calmly building the foundation for their next run. The Super Bowl window isn't closing, it's evolving. And if Howie Roseman keeps stacking smart decisions like this, there's no reason that Philadelphia won't be in the mix year after year, just like they have been since the early 2000s. And if you're watching all this unfold, you can't help but appreciate the method to the madness. Roseman isn't flashy, he isn't loud, but he's relentless, calculated, and always one move ahead. That's what makes him not just good at his job, but one of the best to ever do it. And it's not just about players and contracts, it's about culture. Roseman, alongside owner Jeffrey Lurie, has crafted a franchise identity built around adaptability. This is a team that doesn't panic when things go wrong. They don't overreact to one bad season or one injury. They stay the course because the course is built on years of planning. They've put together a scouting department that consistently finds late-round gems. They've empowered their coaching staff to develop young talent. And they've built a locker room that attracts veterans, that wins consistently, and that expects success. The Bryce Huff move is a perfect example of that philosophy in action. A lesser front office might have forced the fit. They might have kept Huff on the roster just because of the money, hoping something would click eventually. But the Eagles don't operate that way. They don't just look at what a player costs. They look at what a player brings. And if it's not the right fit, if it doesn't make the team better, they move on. No hesitation, no wasted time. That's a trait every great organization shares: decisiveness. And what's most exciting about the future in Philadelphia is that it's being built with precision. Every move fits into a larger puzzle. Signing Josh Uche and Azeez Ojulari wasn't just a reaction to Huff's struggles. It was a proactive decision to mold the defense around Vic Fangio's preferences. Drafting Antoine Pallin wasn't just about need. It was about identifying high upside talent that can grow into a role. Investing in young edge rushers like Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt wasn't about hype. It was about potential and scheme. Fit. Every decision is layered, every step calculated. That level of detail stretches into how Roseman manages the draft board. He doesn't just accumulate picks to hoard them. He uses them as tools. In some cases, they're lottery tickets, a chance to uncover the next breakout star. In others, they're trade chips, leverage to move up for a top-tier player or to land a proven veteran at a position of need. The point is that the Eagles never find themselves stuck. They always have options. They always have flexibility. And that's exactly why they're so dangerous. 13 picks in 2026. That's not just a headline, it's a blueprint. It means the Eagles can afford to take risks. They can swing for the fences on a couple of high upside prospects. If a few don't pan out, so what? They got depth, they've got reinforcements, and they got the luxury of building a team that's not just good for one season, but built to last for 5 or 10. And while everyone talks about first round picks, what separates great GMs from the rest is how they operate in the middle and late rounds. That's where depth is found. That's where role players come from. That's where you fill out special teams, shore up rotations, and uncover contributors who fly under the radar. Roseman knows this. He's seen it firsthand. And with as many mid-round picks as he stockpiled, the Eagles are in a position to build the most complete roster in the league if they hit on even half of them. But of course, picks are only part of the equation. The other piece is development. And this is where the Eagles really shine. They don't just draft players, they prepare them. They give them time to learn. They surround them with veterans. They coach them up. That's why you see guys stepping into big roles in year 2 or year 3 and producing like seasoned pros. That's why you see the Eagles consistently getting more out of their rookies than most teams. It's not luck. It's structure. It's investment. And you can already see that process unfolding. Nolan Smith didn't explode as a rookie, but the flashes were there. The traits were obvious, and now, with Huff out of the picture, Smith is going to get his chance. Same with Jalen Hunt, who's earned rave reviews internally for his motor, his instincts, and his fit in Fangio's system. These guys are ready to take that next step. And when they do, people will look back and realize this was the plan all along. There's also the big picture financial aspect that can be overlooked. As salaries continue to climb and stars demand bigger deals, the only way to keep a roster balanced is to have cheap, productive players in key roles. Draft picks are the answer. Rookie contracts are gold. If you can get high-level production out of a player on a 4-year rookie deal, you're winning on multiple fronts. You're saving money, you're getting younger, and you're maintaining roster flexibility. That's why Roseman's draft-focused approach is so valuable. It's not just about finding the next superstar. It's about building a team that can withstand injuries, cap crunches, and roster turnover. It's about being prepared for every scenario. And it's about understanding that in the NFL, things change fast. The teams that survive and thrive are the ones that are ready for those changes. The Eagles are always ready. Even when it comes to trades, Roseman shows restraint and wisdom. He doesn't force deals. He doesn't chase headlines. He lets the market come to him. And when the right opportunity appears, like moving Huff for a conditional pick that could become more, he strikes. It's that patience and timing that turns average moves into franchise-shaping decisions. And let's be honest, the Eagles aren't just thinking about the regular season. This is a team built for the playoffs. Depth matters more in December than it does in September. Matchups matter more. Game plans get tighter. Injuries pile up. If you're not deep, if you're not versatile, you're not going far. Philadelphia knows this. That's why they're prioritizing flexibility now. So when it matters most, they'll have the answers. Think about what this team could look like in 2026. Jalen Hurts in his prime, an offensive line that continues to reload then rebuild, a defense molded entirely in Fangio's image with young edge rushers, athletic linebackers, and versatile defensive backs, a receiving core that blends youth and experience. And behind all of it, a front office with enough draft capital to fix any holes that emerge along the way. That's not just a playoff team. That's a contender. That's sustainability. That's what every franchise dreams of, competing now without sacrificing tomorrow. The Eagles are already living that dream, and the moves they're making today are the reason why. So yes, trading Bryce Huff might not have dominated the headlines. It might not have blown up social media, but it was a signal, a reminder that the Eagles aren't resting on their past success. They're working, planning, building. And with Howie Roseman at the helm, this franchise is in the hands of someone who sees the full field, anticipates the next move, and knows exactly how to keep this team among the elite. In the end, football is a game of margins. The smallest decisions often have the biggest impact. A trade here, a draft pick there, a contract restructured, a player moved. They all add up. And when you stack enough of them together, when you operate with clarity, confidence, and discipline, you build something special. That's what's happening in Philadelphia. Piece by piece, move by move, pick by pick. Howie Roseman is building a roster not just for this season, but for every season that follows. And if you're an Eagles fan watching all of this unfold, you should feel one thing above all: trust. Because if history is any indicator, and if this latest round of roster gymnastics is any clue, then one thing is certain: Howie Roseman isn't done yet. He's just getting started. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A new buzz is stirring around the NFL as whispers grow louder about Kendrick Bourne's potential move to the Philadelphia Eagles. While nothing is officially confirmed, sources close to the situation hint that Bourne, the versatile wide receiver known for his agility and reliable hands, could soon be donning the Eagles' green and white. Bourne's name has been circulating in trade talks and free agency chatter for a while. But recent developments suggest this might be more than just idle speculation. Insiders suggest the Eagles are looking to bolster their receiving core, aiming to add depth and experience to an already promising offensive lineup. Bourne fits the profile perfectly. A player who can make clutch catches, stretch defenses, and provide a dependable target for the quarterback in crucial moments. Philadelphia has long been on the hunt for dynamic playmakers to complement their star talents, and Kendrick Bourne's potential arrival could signal a strategic push for a stronger aerial attack next season. His career highlights include impressive route running and a knack for finding openings in tight coverage, attributes that would mesh well with the Eagles' offensive schemes. Sources say the team's management has been quietly negotiating and is keen on securing Bourne before other franchises make a move. Fans and analysts alike have started speculating about how Bourne's addition might change the team's offensive dynamics. Some believe his presence could open up opportunities for other receivers, creating a more balanced threat that keeps defenses guessing. Others point out that Bourne's work ethic and experience in high-pressure situations could bring a new level of composure and leadership to the Eagles' locker room. Of course, the NFL is no stranger to last-minute surprises and changes, so this possible signing remains shrouded in uncertainty. However, the excitement building around this rumor is undeniable, with Eagles supporters already imagining Bourne making spectacular catches at Lincoln Financial Field. Whether this move materializes or not, it highlights the Eagles' ambition to stay competitive and agile in the ever-evolving league. For now, all eyes are on the coming weeks, as fans and commentators wait eagerly for official word. Will Kendrick Bourne be the next star to soar in Philadelphia? The buzz is growing, and the rumor mill is in full swing. Stay tuned. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.